Hello everybody. Howard the Teaserking on a busy night. Just gave you 2 college games and we're going to talk NFL Week 12. What a roll I've been on. Let's see, what did I do last week? I didn't count it. I think I was 7-2 last week. 6-2 last week. Big week. It's funny, I lost the lock Pittsburgh, and then I won like all these other games, and then I lost to Jacksonville. Both of those were huge trends in the season series. Pitt had won the last 10. Jacksonville was 10-1. That's what happens, but that's how you pick. I mean, you got to pick it. Have a method to pick. You can't just close your eyes. Cleveland got lucky. If they don't get the interception at the end, Pitt's a winner. They're down 7. You're getting 9. Jacksonville, Nick Foles played. He looked like shit. I mean, all you can see, incompletion. Anyway, so I hit the Baltimore over, and I hit Minnesota, and I hit Dallas over Detroit. See, that's like I said, I had to wait to see if Stafford's out. Stafford's out about 5 or 6 weeks apparently with his back injury. So, although I like this guy, the backup looks better than Stafford, so I don't think it'll be too bad. So I got the lock going in the NFL. I got 2 strong games there. And looking at the other games, the rest of the menu, I got about 3 or 4 other ones that that I like, and some of them are just real tough. Chicago and the Giants. What do you do with that game? I mean, you can look at it over or under Chicago. There's no way. I mean, anything could happen. So who will I give you? Good point. Okay. All right, let's go New Orleans and Carolina. I liked it when my line was New Orleans -7. That's what it opened at. It's up to 9.5. Over under 57. The head-to-head trend, Carolina is 9-2 and the dog 9-2 the last 11, and New Orleans is 9-1 in New Orleans. So pretty close games. But when you start looking at the rest of the trends, it blows it away. So let's look at New Orleans this year. 8-2 against the number. 3-1 as a home favorite. 3-1 against as a home favorite. Carolina 7-3, bet against 6-4. Go back to 18. New Orleans 10-3 as a home favorite. 10-3 against as a home favorite. Carolina 7-2 as a road dog. 5-4 against. New Orleans 18-3 if we go back to 2017, 2018, and this year. That's where it starts getting interesting. 18-3 as a home favorite, 38-8 overall, 83%. Carolina 12-3 as a road dog, not bad. 9-6 against. And if we go back to 2016, New Orleans 22-5, 81% as a home favorite, 52-10, 84% overall, unbelievable. Carolina 15-4 as a road dog, so they're not a bad road dog. Now, keep in mind, these are Cam Newton's stats. Cam Newton's not there. This Allen, I'm not sold on this guy. The thing is, when they come in, nobody knows them. So the first few games they can get away with shit, and nobody knows what to do. But they've not seen film on them. But after 4 or 5 games, and they see film, and they get tendencies, and they go, "Oh, he likes to run here, or he throws to this guy." Then the defense starts taking away the guy he likes, starts killing his little run tendencies, and now he's in trouble because they got him. That's what's happening. So let's look at the overall. New Orleans is 24 a game, gives up 20. A lot of that's Teddy Bridgewater. With Breeze, that'll be higher, but they're only giving up 20 a game. They throw for 270, run for 107, 378. It's funny, in college they're running for 280 a game and throwing, you get 500-600 yards, and in the pros, the best you get's 454 from Dallas. who throws for 3 1/4 and runs for 130. And that's my buddy Kellen Moore, who's the offensive coordinator, the old quarterback from Boise, who I kept bitching should be playing, and he never got him in because he was on the Lions and they're too stupid. And then he gets injured, and that was it. So now he's the offensive coordinator, and it's $450 a game. So there you go. Carolina, that's Dallas, but New Orleans is, $378 a game, $271. But their strength is defense, which is funny. They got Drew Brees and Kamara. Carolina scores 23 a game, but they give up 26. Aha, we've got Drew Brees against a weak defense, gives up 26 a game. They get 250 through the year, 126 running, 375. On an average NFL thing. I got Carolina as an over. They give up 26 points a game, but they score 23. That's an over team because their defense is weak, but they can score. New Orleans scores 24, gives up 20. They're a +4. I got them as more of an under team. But with Breeze, they're really more of a or B team because he'll score more, but their defense is really strong, giving up 20. Then the loss to Atlanta, the trends were Atlanta. The dog plays tough in that series. And that's why you look at the series. In the Carolina here, it's hard because Newton isn't playing, and all the trends are with Newton. So I got a buddy, and he goes, well, how about these old trends? Why do you use them? Well, most of the cases, they're good. I mean, with Breeze, all the New Orleans trends are good. But when you get Newton out and you bring in Allen, now you've got new trends. So now I look at the 19 trend, and Carolina's 7-3, nothing great, 6-4 against. So they're not the same team without Newton. Let's go to the quarterbacks. So it's kind of hard because Breeze has missed so many games. He's played just 5 games, 75% completion, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So we know Breeze. He's a superstar. Kyle Allen. I don't even know. There's so many Allens in the league. There's the guy at, what team is he on? Cincinnati. One of them went to Arkansas. I don't remember where Kyle Allen went, but I don't think he went to Arkansas. 8 games, he's 61%, and 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Throws for 240 a game. So when you look at the difference, Drew Brees is 75%, throws for 7.6 yards a game, an attempt. Kyle Allen only 6'8", and he's 61. So he's throwing for shorter passes, and he's only 61%. And he throws 9 interceptions. 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions is terrible. And that's really the key. So what are the keys to the game? Quarterback, coach, defense. Who's got the better quarterback? Drew Brees. Got the better coach? New Orleans. Who's got the better defense? New Orleans. Carolina used to have the strong defense, but it's not there anymore. They're giving up 26. So Atlanta just killed Carolina. So, and again, you can't, because Atlanta's different than New Orleans, and the Rams are different. So they're all different, so you can't really, what I just said is stupid, but basically the idea is that Carolina is getting weaker. I mean, they're losing to an inferior Atlanta team. Here comes New Orleans, and they had that loss to Atlanta. But when you start looking at the schedule and the standings, now you see why I'm picking New Orleans. They have to win the game. They're up there. I think they're 8-2. Yeah, let me get the standings. So let's see. So here's the next level of handicapping. So you look at the standings. You got Green Bay at 8-2, Minnie at 8-3, Dallas 6-4, New Orleans 8-2, San Francisco 9-1. All of a sudden, New Orleans has to win the game because they want the number 1 seed. They want that bye in the playoffs, the first week bye, and if the game is the championship game, they want it in New Orleans. Well, they're a game behind San Francisco, amazingly enough. They're much better than San Francisco, but it's schedule and everything else. San Francisco has the easy schedule this year. So they're 9-1, losing this to a good Seattle team, and that's what you're looking at. So here's Green Bay's also 8-2, and that'll be a good game. Green Bay Frisco. It's a playoff game, 8-2 against 9-1. One of them's going to lose, so that makes New Orleans automatically a 2 seed. If Green Bay wins, they're 9-2. Frisco goes to 9-2, and guess what New Orleans has to do? Go to 9-2. And I don't recall if they played either of them. I think they will play Frisco because I know they played Seattle and beat them, and they played the Rams, and that was one of their losses. I don't recall if they played Arizona. And the way the schedule works now, they play the whole division, so they're going to play the whole NFC West. So that means they will play Frisco. So this is a must win for New Orleans. Yeah, they're going to win the division. Carolina 5-5, but they have a golden opportunity here with Green Bay playing Frisco to get right back and have a chance at the 1 seed. So another incentive that you're looking at is that. So we've got everything else. The head-to-head is pretty much we play close games. New Orleans 9-1 in New Orleans, and Carolina is 9-2, and the Dogs 9-2 in the series. But again, you don't have Cam Newton, so I think you keep the New Orleans trend because Drew Brees, he beats him. The defense doesn't bother him, but Carolina's 9-2 with Cam Newton, who is not there, and that's a huge difference. So that's what you're looking at. You're basically, but this bet is they have to win the game. They're going to be motivated. They're at home. Drew Brees is back, and Carolina's quarterback. When you look at the quarterbacks, you got to bet Drew Brees. So I know 9.5. I don't like going over 3. I don't think it's an issue in this case. I think they win by 14. But if it's 7, it might be a lock down to 1 or 2. 9.5. This is where it's a strong play, laying 3.5, but not a lock because of the spread. The spread makes the lock when you get that light spread. When the spread's wrong, like I'm telling you in the college video with Nebraska, they should be 14-point favorites. They're 4. And never go, why is the line X or why is the line Y? The line's made on statistical analysis and averages and a little bit, your home team, you get 3 points. You're this, you get 3 points. Okay, the line's 7. It's not. They're not really looking at. They're looking at maybe last week's games, which is great because I want them to look at last week's games because you don't look at a week's game. You look at the whole picture. Look at the whole season. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Take New Orleans, lay the 3.5 against Carolina. I have lock going. Carolina's not my lock, or New Orleans is not my lock. Also in the pro, a big lock, and I've given you Ohio State over as another strong play. So you play that with the lock. It's definitely a huge college week. Pros, it's a little bit tougher on some of these games. You just Cleveland 10.5 over Miami. You're going to trust Cleveland? Miami, I can't bet on them. So it becomes a real hard to really play a lot of these games. It's just hard to trust them. Last week I had a strange one that I never would do. Is I took the Jets over Washington because the quarterback, the Ohio State guys playing for Washington. They're not playing Illinois. I mean, they're playing pros, and this guy's not ready. He's not close to being ready. So I took the Jets. Really, I was betting against Dwayne Haskins. It's like he's favored. Never. And you bet against. I was really betting it. It could have been anybody. It could have been UCLA. I would have taken them because they were of Haskins. So that's what you do. And then I had Arizona plus 16 against the Niners because the Niners they're not a 9-1 team. They're not New England. They're not the 85 Bears. They're not Joe Montana's Niners. I mean, they're okay team, but just because they're 9-1, they're not 10 points better than anybody. And the way Arizona scores, I knew that there's no way they're beating them by 16. And so that was a very unusual teaser for me. The Jets and Arizona, and I get W's on both of them, so it's beautiful. But that's what I'm looking at now. Is again, I'm basing it on. I don't think anybody can be a favorite in this league. I don't think anybody's good enough. Too many injuries, too much salary cap. I think maybe New England and KC if they're healthy, and maybe New Orleans. Otherwise, you can't count on anybody to win. There's nobody you can say, yeah, they're favored, they're going to win the game. And as we see, it's just very hard. So definitely looking more at dogs or betting against weak favorites. And there's always a lot of weak favorites that half these teams shouldn't be favored. But just amazing how bad the league is. Just terrible. All right, everybody. Well, good luck. Enjoy the games. I've given you 3 strong games with my 3 tapes, and I hope you make a lot of money with them. All right, have a great weekend. www.teaserking.com. Come on board. Buy a package. Let's get going. We got must-win games as these college teams are trying to win their conferences. The pros, they want to get #1 seed, so a lot of extra factors going into this time of year, and it makes the picking a little bit easier and a little more successful. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much.